Hey, this is Becky from Patchwork Posse, and I thought I would talk about something that I did today, and I threw away fabric. This doesn't happen often for me, but I really thought it was important to kind of talk about why and what led to that decision. And maybe you've hit this problem before, and it just doesn't feel right, does it? It just doesn't feel right to throw fabric away, but it is needed. So yeah, this is the offender right here. This is the offender. It's red, and you might have some red that is offensive to you as well and to your quilting journey. Let's take a look at what it did. Now, this is the block that I made, and I'm not sure that you can really pick up on it, but I am going to walk in a little bit closer here, and as you can see, this is starting to get a pink feel to it. And it's not quite white, it's a little off, and I know that the more I work with it and the more I use it, the more it would give me issues. I saw this happening mostly with this fabric, and I'm not going to mention where I got it or where it's from, but I had enough that I was going to test this out. And this is the same design as this fabric, and I was really worried that my blue was going to run like my red. It typically doesn't as much, but sometimes it does have a tendency. So my choice was to continue to use it or not. And this is this was a tester block, so I really wasn't too worried. This was not going to become a full quilt. I was just testing out my sizes, testing out my matching up my points if they needed to be, where this hit with the seam. So all of this stuff needs to be taken care of while writing a pattern. And so I thought, well, I've got this extra fabric that I had gotten somewhere, and I'm just going to use it. This is what it's doing. It's turning everything pink, and that is just from ironing. I usually don't even spray, so that's just from using heat on this fabric. So you may be totally appalled at this, but I threw the fabric in the garbage. I didn't want to deal with it again. I didn't want to run into issues later on. I didn't want to put it back in my stash for me to choose again and get just as frustrated. And so I threw it away. And I believe I threw this away as well, just because it is a little bit thin, just like this. So it's probably manufactured by the same people, and I just didn't want to take a chance. So this is my block. Testing it. Testing blocks is sometimes super helpful. I was not expecting anything other than figuring out what sizes my pieces need to be. But I also found out that the fabric I am using bled, and I threw it out. I would love to know if you run into this problem as well. And what do you do? What do you do with the fabric that runs and bleeds and causes you issues? Now, I know that I ran into this issue a couple times where I've made the whole quilt top, put it in the washer, and I use color catchers the first few times that I wash it, and it bled then. Now, you can't really do anything except for try to wash it out and get it stabilized. But for something like this, where it is bleeding even before I finish the block, before I put the quilt top together, before I even put the rows or anything, I'm going to choose to just toss it and not use it. I know that if I put it back in my stash, if I fold it, put it in the corner, I'm going to forget. I'm not going to realize that it did it, and then I'm going to sew it again, and then I'm going to find out that it has the same problem. So that is why I chose just to put it in the trash right off the bit, so I don't run into the same fabric again. But yeah, would love to know what your opinion is on this. Have you ever thrown away fabric? Whereas fabric is really expensive, and I'm pretty sure this is not a $10 to $12 per yard bolt. This was on the lower end, I'm sure, just hidden in my stash from some other project. I dug it out, seemed to be perfect for what I was doing, which was testing the block, and it turned out that it was not. This does not happen very often for me, and I'm not one to be tossing fabric out. So I know this is a big deal and a big choice, and one that we have to make sometimes in our quilting journey.